Why don't I know you? I'm new.
To the AJ Instagram community, please do not bully me.
I just moved here from Africa.
What?
I used to be homeschooled.
Wait, what?
My mom taught me at home.
No, I know what homeschool is. I'm not retarded. So you've actually never been to a real school before? Shut up. Shut up!
I didn't say anything.
You're like really
Ugly bitch, like your literal trailer trash. Hate your fucking bracelet. Where did you get that shit from, a trailer?
It's adorable.
It's so fetch.
What is fetch?
Oh, it's like slang from England.
So if you're from Africa, why are you white? Could you give us some privacy for like 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Economy certainly varies across all countries. Some people are unfortunately born into poverty or other low classes of society. Education, however, is completely free in most areas of the US. Education which you very clearly lack, as you have shown by calling people trailer trash. It's extremely low and especially ironic considering that the content you yourself produce is absolute garbage. Hi sisters, I'm Patch, and apologies for joining in on this girls' tea party late. I had some horse mums in the back to take care of. Wow, it's actually been a while since a normal content critique. If you have not yet watched, please check out my 4-part content critique special, The 4 Horsemen of the Jampocalypse. It's some of the best produced, top quality content I have ever made, honestly. The link is in the description. Anyway, enough of self-promos, moving on to your regular scheduled clobbering. Today I will be sharing with you guys a person with below average content, IQ and insults. A girl that tried taking advantage of all her friends, harassing them and turning their back on them one by one, and thinking she can carry on growing her tumour of a page any longer whilst retaining her shit personality. Petriee AJ is her name, slagging off her friends is her game, and PatchTheAlpha about to put this hoe to shame. Apologies for this cringe-ass introduction. Allow me to continue. Petriee is somewhat of an irrelevant fetus still trying to grow in the community. Thus far, they have only really been prominent through Instagram, where they have already amassed over 1,000 followers, which is very worrisome considering they have a bad tendency of starting beef with literally every single fucking person she remotely even comes across. She's like Medusa, but instead of turning you into stone, she publicly harasses and attempts to humiliate her close friends that she has even had the slightest of squabbles with on her petty Instagram stories and depressing Instagram live streams, where she averages 2 viewers. One friend that backs her up for emotional support and the other person watching being the randomly selected victim whom is getting slated. I've unfortunately had the opportunity to run into one of these embarrassingly failing live streams and embrace the cancer for myself. I don't know what's worse, her bland, lame IG lives or her actual unoriginal posts begging for likes. Anyway, the amount of small arguments that Petriee has participated in has begun creating a domino effect, gradually but surely impacting pretty much everybody around her until she's left with completely no mates. A rippling of toxicity that I simply could not ignore, especially considering she attempted gaining clout by harassing my good friend who I've known for almost 7 years, I believe, the dermatologist. Whether or not this specific beef originally began due to you being jealous of their superior content, or the fact that you and her both like the same lad, I do not know, and quite frankly, I don't give a fuck, because this is far from your only instance of drama, Petriee, isn't it? Jojo, Jeanette, Lilastic, Strawberries, Hydra, those are just some of the various usernames you see this kid trying to go after. It's honestly just like a new episode of a soap opera every single fucking day. This shit's ridiculous and I'm sick of seeing it flood my feed. When called out, she says the other person is bad, and when asked for proof, she believes she does not need any to completely tear someone down. You see, even though this person is a drama-centered brat, she has absolutely no realization on what the word expose even means. You can talk about how you think people act is bad, you can say how you dislike their looks, or even their content. I mean, that can all be classified under the word criticism. To expose somebody, you must provide screenshot proof, conversations compiled across weeks, just like your friends did to you, by the way, showing just how bad a person's behavior is, and fully explain and successfully explain why that should result in a person's cancelling. That is, in my opinion, called exposing, and in any case you did not know, that is what you're terrible at, and that is quite something I'm good at doing. She's also one of those people that uses suicide and self-oof as a defense mechanism, which really disgusts me, considering I personally regularly help various fans and close friends that have to deal with these issues. It's not something I talk about publicly because I don't want to reveal any information on particular, but yeah. On pretty much a regular basis, this is something I generally help people out with. I'm sure if these popular jammers in the community that are personally inflicted by these problems found out what you are doing, it would blow up out of proportion and run your page to the ground. When further confronted, Petriee just sends out these pictures of images supposedly belonging to her, with some bedbug bites on her arms. I have searched and consulted my friends, and by no means do they even resemble marks of oof by any means whatsoever. And if that were to be true, maybe fucking stop bullying your close friends and creating so much negativity in your life. If you are mentally unstable and cannot bear an argument for just a few minutes without needing to publicly shame people, simple as fuck, don't do it. I sense we have a Rosie Star number 2 in the making here. Another thing absolutely insane about her mindset is that this enormous hypocrite talks smack about each of her friends, and even adds buddies to her lives to further shit talk and make a person feel very low. However, if somebody even as much as mentions them in the live stream, she has a fully blown tantrum. These ridiculous double standards really restrict her to the friends she has, which nowadays accumulates to around 2 people, the bored individuals that attend her lives for their tea. Her pathetic attempts at resolving any drama usually show her trying to forcefully get the other person to just shut up and force them into civilism by talking about it. But when you publicly reveal information about your friends, such as their full names and even address, and continue to run your mouth about them and send out your rats into their pages, things will surely get ugly. Speaking of ugly, Petriee is very obsessive over the way other people look, going as far as to publicly insult her ex-friends with various playground insults. Just thought that's quite hilarious to point out, considering she herself looks like a deformed grape with ET eyes and a nose directly sculpted from Fiona, who was most likely herself born in a trailer. Fear not, Petriee, we shall all mourn over your looks and hope that once you finally mature a little, puberty will hit your face like a truck. Either that or one of your ex-buddies will. I still can't decide what looks worse, her face or a pet seal. I would call her a master manipulator, however I believe that's too much credit for her. The brain-dead children that follow her aren't exactly the hardest to be manipulated. Anytime she involves herself within drama, she just posts another generic story, telling everybody how she's going to commit Rosie Star number 2 if they don't support her and stick up for her. Even after all these conversations and proof I have shown, when her friends tell her that she has hurt them, this Neanderthal fuck response is, how? Bear in mind the address and the information exposing harassment and public bullying, as well as the suicide threats and self-oof faking, are only some of the bad things she has committed so far within the community. If this is your list of sins at only 1k followers, well, let's just say you may even surpass PatchTheAlpha himself when you reach 7k. I can only imagine the amount of scandals you would swim through. This girl tries to act absolutely clueless and like she has any authority or high ground when she's the centre and issues of every goddamn argument. Extremely hypocritical how you're trying to educate people on grammar considering the IQ you've displayed on your stories and lives. You know, at first I suspected a slight case of possible autism, but now after you've corrected somebody on their use of you are, I can tell you're indeed an intellectual Rick and Morty viewer. Yes, this is the first and last praise I will ever give in a content critique. Don't get too excited, you're welcome. In addition, I've been notified she has a backup account called Petriee Jr., where she fabricates conversations with herself to make it appear to the general public like she's getting any sort of support, which is quite worrisome and very sad. possibly even schizophrenic. Maybe, just maybe, if you didn't run every friendship you've ever had into the grave, people would show a little more respect for you. You've managed to become a joke to everybody, even before this video. Throughout any single confrontation, she always finds the chance to instantly make yet another live where she just continuously embarrasses herself. I mean, when you have whole Instagram chats and Discord servers dedicated to exposing you, I doubt you will be cracking any eggs anytime soon. Oh, I also mentioned her content as almost as cancerous, her villainous personality. When you get an individual so boring that they regularly fall out with their friends for entertainment purposes, you can only imagine their quote-unquote content they are capable of producing. Her Instagram posts provide quite an accurate representation of her personality and the things she hopes to achieve within the community. Bland, basic AJ PNG images of animals slapped onto a coloured background with number values. Sort of like a poll, if you will. She begs any people, usually younger kids, that fall into this by seeing her pathetic posts pop up on their featured tabs or whatever it's called on Instagram to like these brain-melting posts, then comment the number of their last digit of the like. Pretty unoriginal idea, yet another desperate attempt at gathering attention through minimal effort and not providing any real value to anybody. At this point, you could slap a picture of a fucking AJ Sloth and say, like digit 0 to 5 means you love sloth. Like digit 59 means you are sloth. Fucking hell, it reminds me so much of those retarded Facebook chain messages, you know, the ones that usually have the twist at the end saying, repost or you gay type of bullshit. Man, it's so lame to see the community has downgraded itself so much as to support this shit. And not actual genuine creators out there. 10-year-old Neanderthal fucks nowadays. It is important to know that I posted similar AJ edits centered around in-game items, memes, the AJ player base, things like that. However, I and many others did this back in 2015, without begging for likes and desperately just slapping random AJ PNG images. In a way, as one of the pioneers of the AJ edits genre, I find this totally inadequate. I'm personally offended, in fact. A recurring theme that is easily noticed within Petrie's desires is just how badly she is deprived of attention. Any attention to her lives, attraction to her posts, hell, even negative reactions. This sad lost soul just wants to be noticed. Shame she went about her own way. I could have taught you how to use Pixar and not make cancer cringe-worthy posts, buddy. So, Petriee, when you actively go out with your way to try and make the choice to publicly call out your supportive friends on your stories, start slandering them by the way they look, begin saying they have various diseases and assume their wealth, you should consider that, just like everybody in this community, your so-called choices have consequences. And honestly, the bigger problem that will affect you over a longer term is not this video, but the fact that you literally have ended up with 0 fucking friends after slagging them all off to reach not 2, not 3, but 4 viewers on your Instagram stories. Hope you're proud of that achievement, mate. And here's a tip for you. Maybe stop being so goddamn obsessive and take a break from your IG. Your eyes look like they're literally about to fucking disintegrate from staring at your screen for so long. Just looking out for fellow trailer trash. Maybe I should go on an Insta Live after this like an absolute fucking troglodyte. Oh, quite honestly, I think even this girl does not compare to the likes of this creature. You may have already seen this specimen make an appearance in Petrie's life marathons, on comments of my viewers and friends' posts attempting to talk shit about me, as well as pretty much any place where she sniffs out drama. I guess 2 negatives attract. I'm sick to fucking death of this cowardly piece of shit having my name in her mouth for clout and try finally get attention to her irrelevant dying channel. I've already been contacted by numerous of her friends, and after some of the shit she's been trying to pull off, it amazes me that even Petriee decides to be associated with your dumb snake ass. Maybe I should directly DM her, just like you've been doing to all of my friends. Pathetic. I've been working on a content critique for this person for a while now. It should come out soon. I don't usually announce the next episode, but if you have tea, DM me. Really excited to get into this one. Goodbye.